Hello everyone, so today I have a video that was requested by quite a bit of people under my other Korean notebooks flip through. So a lot of you requested me to make a slower version of that video. So today, get yourself prepared for a pretty long video. I will be going through all of these four notebooks without speeding up the video, so it might take quite a bit. And I'm also going to talk about the textbook that I'm using, which I think I'm gonna do before I'm gonna flip through all of these. So as you can see, I have Korean book 1, Korean book 2, chapters 5 to 10, and then Korean book 2, chapters 11, 17, and then book 3, chapters 5, 17. So I am using a textbook called, let me find it here. So for all of these notebooks, I used this textbook, Korean from Zero. They do have a free PDF of the first book on their website. You can download that for free, and it comes with the textbook and workbook area as well. For the second and third book, they offer like free lessons, kind of, in not a PDF file, but they have all of it like written down on their page, but it doesn't come with the workbook area. So I personally really enjoyed this textbook, despite like few mistakes in like translations, or just like they sometimes even forgot to include like translation. It's nothing too serious, nothing too, like, the mistakes are not really bad if you kind of go through the textbook and you already know the vocabulary and how the sentence is, how to make the sentence using the grammar. It's not that much of a big deal, to be honest. If you read the Korean sentence, you will know by yourself what it means and how to translate it. So it's not that much of a big deal, to be honest. And it's written in a kind of, they include some kind of like facts and like cultural facts as well in the textbook, so I do enjoy that a lot, and I do recommend that textbook. So for the first book I actually didn't print the PDF. I was using it from my computer or from my phone. I don't really remember now because it was literally ages ago. But for the second and third book, or I think mostly the third book, I actually was printing out I was copying the lessons from their website and kind of making my own Word document and printing that out. So I do have, but this is book 2 actually. So yeah, book 2, I do have, as you can see, like, I have a lot of like notes and stuff that I wanted to ask my Korean friend so he could explain that to me in a better way. So I do have all of this with like the notes and everything. And then for book 3, I was actually trying to make it look a lot prettier, like the kind of like Word documents, I was making them a little bit more presentable and nicer to look through. So that's what I did. I was like marking the words that I didn't understand, and I was writing them down in my notebook to kind of, I don't know, learn the words. And yeah, just like if I didn't know something, I would like write some notes. Here I didn't understand the grammar, so I just like written grammar, how to pronounce, things like that. Yeah, so this is the third the third book, which you can find on their website. I will link the website down below. I'm not sure how it looks right now, because as I said, that was ages ago when I used their books, so something might have changed, I don't know, but I will find out and I will leave like the info in the description. So yeah, and here is chapter 14. Here, for example, I said like how to know which il that is, because like il can be translated to a lot of different words in English. And yeah, I was just like, how people are not getting confused. I mean, you can obviously get that from the context, but yeah. So yeah, I just have like a lot of notes in here, and I do write like the words that I don't understand. And as you can see, I started doing at some point I started actually like doing the translation in a less visible font, just so I won't get too distracted with it, and that I could focus on the Korean sentence and translate it myself, instead of having to rely on the English translation provided by the author of the textbook. So I started doing that for pretty much all of the translations at some point. Same here, like even if it was just like explaining how to use the words and everything, I would do the translation in a less visible font, just so that I can kind of focus more on translating that myself and trying to understand that myself, instead of relying on the translation provided. Here I also got some like past topic exams. I haven't done anything here, to be honest. Like I just like marked some of the words that I didn't understand, but I didn't really do anything here, because I haven't really had time to study Korean and Chinese in such a long time. I'm currently trying to get along with like the basics of Chinese again, because I totally forgot all of the basics that I've learned like a year or two ago. So yeah, so I'm gonna just do a proper flip through. We're gonna start with book 1. I'm not gonna speed up this video. I don't know how much I'm going to talk throughout this video. If I'm not gonna talk a lot, I'm just gonna like do some background music or something. But yeah, so as you can see, this is the very first note, very first lesson, or like even pre-lesson, with all of the sounds and everything. I'm gonna try to like not use my hands too much, so if you want to, you can like take screenshots or something. But I actually experimented with like a lot of different ways of taking my notes, so it's very messy. I try to kind of make every lesson in a different color, but I'm really sorry about that. I just hit the tripod. But yeah, I'm trying to include like little doodles and stuff, but honestly I still haven't really figured out what's the best way for me to learn. I haven't found really that one way of learning that's gonna work for me the best. As you can see, I haven't really finished any of the workbook areas, which is a little bit sad. I should probably go through that again and just like do all of that as a kind of practice and reminder of what I've learned so far. But yeah, there's just a lot of rewriting the stuff from the textbooks, to be honest. But later on in like I believe it was in the third notebook from the third book, I started actually thinking more about what I want to actually include in my notebooks and not just rewriting everything that was in the textbook, because that's honestly not how we learn. Also, if you can hear any background noises, that's because everyone is at home right now, so I'm very sorry about that. But I hope it's not too much of a problem. I always apologize for background noises, but whenever I edit the video later, I don't really hear any of the background noises that was super loud to me, so I hope it's not gonna be too bad this time either. So as I said, feel free to pause the video and take screenshots if you want to. Some people ask me to take like scans of my notebooks, but to be honest, that's quite a bit of work. Like, I have 4 full notebooks to go through, and everything that I am including in these notebooks came from the textbook, which you can download for free, so I don't really see the point of me just doing the scans, because as I said, you can just download the textbook yourself, and all of the info that I have in these notebooks is in the textbook. So yeah, here I started dividing the page into 2 columns, because I thought that I'm leaving like a lot of blank space and it's a little bit of waste of space, so I started doing that, which, as you can see, I already forgot on the second page. But I enjoyed that kind of style a lot more. But then again, I never really finished the workbook areas. I should probably go through all of my notes and read them again, just so that I can kind of remind myself of what I've learned so far, because I do struggle with learning vocabulary. So I think it's safe to say that 80% of the vocabulary that's in these notebooks, I don't know. Like, I honestly have no idea what the words mean, because I just don't know how to learn vocabulary. If you have any suggestions on how I can learn vocabulary or the ways that you learn vocabulary, let me know, because I tried so many different ways of learning new vocabulary and I suck at all of them. I just cannot remember the words. So here is just like, I didn't want to start a new notebook for this book. I just included some pages because I think I was missing like 2 lessons or something, or 3. So yep, that is everything for the first notebook. Now moving on to the second book, so the second notebook. I wanted to try for the second book a smaller size notebook, so this is the B5, I think, and this is A5. And I honestly don't know which notebook I prefer. I always thought that I liked the B5 a lot more, but I think it's just a lot more comfortable to carry around a smaller notebook. I'm gonna actually do a little close up so you can see that better. And yeah, again, feel free to pause anytime you want and screenshot. So here's like little words that I didn't know. So I started doing that I don't think I did that in my first book. I started doing that here, where I would go through the entire lesson, and then after I'm done with it, I would go through it again and mark all of the words that I don't understand, and I would write them down, like after the whole chapter's notes, the whole lesson's notes. And I did that for every single chapter, or probably not every single one. I probably skipped a few. But I started doing that, and I actually started adding these words to the app called Quizlet. But then again, I cannot learn vocabulary, so it didn't really work for me. But at least, like, I have the words written somewhere, so if I ever find a way that works for me to learn the vocabulary that I don't know, like, honestly, and when I'm going for this right now, I probably know like 90% of these words. But at that time when I was learning all of this, I didn't know these words. So like I would go through the lesson again and without the translations and see, oh, I don't understand this word, I don't know what it means, and I would write it down at the end of the lesson in my notebook. So that was it for this notebook. I had only like 3 pages left, so I decided to move to a new one. So this includes lessons from 11 to 17, which is probably till the end of the notebook. And also, if you're curious about why it starts at chapter 5 and not chapter 1, that's because the 4 first lessons are kind of like not necessary for you to learn new vocabulary or grammar or whatever. It's either a reminder of what you've learned in the past book, or kind of more like cultural things, or just like stuff that you don't necessarily have to write in your notebook, but you can just like go through it with a textbook. So here's chapter 11. Oh, sorry again for hitting the tripod. The tripod is really close to my bed. That's why I'm always hitting it whenever I film stuff. Here I tried a totally different layout for the lesson, which didn't really work for me, to be honest. I didn't like it. So I switched back to the one that I was using before. But honestly, I still struggle with like keeping my notes nice, because I would like to have the prettiest notes ever, but I also want them to kind of be functional at the same time, which is very hard to kind of do both at the same time. At least for me. Okay, I will just like hold it here. So here's probably one of my favorite lessons, just because I started using the gray fine liner or whatever it's called, instead of a black gel pen. So it kind of made the notes a little, I don't know, softer in a way. It's not just black and the color, it's also like this softer shade of black. So great. Here I started doing some doodles again. And here I also ran out of space, so I added another page in here. And here at the end, I have additional vocabulary because in these textbooks, you also get additional vocabulary from time to time. So there's different groups with different kind of categories of the vocabulary. So here's that, if you're interested, which I haven't finished, of course, because why would I? So now moving on to the last notebook, which is the third book. I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit. So the same kind of concept, the same way of doing the notes. Also, you can see how my handwriting was changing throughout taking these notes. I don't know why, but I always experiment with my handwriting. I never kind of stick to one handwriting for a really long time, and I've been like that since literally primary school. Like, I was changing my handwriting so often. I never sticked with one way of writing the words. I feel like just handwriting is such a cool thing that you don't necessarily have to write the same way, and even though you're changing the way you write stuff, they're always different from other people. Even if you're like trying to write the same way as someone else, it's never gonna be identical. It's really cool. I love just changing and experimenting with handwritings. Also, I'm not sure what's going on with my camera recently, but this looks really gray on the camera, and it's actually pink. I don't know what's going on. Why is my camera like making colorful stuff looking very gray and dull? But it's been like that for the past few videos. I really don't know. So here's again a little bit more of the words that I didn't understand. I just didn't want to like go over this page, because then I would have to start the new lesson on this page instead. So I decided to just add a little bit. Also, I'm just gonna like flip it open so you can take a screenshot of the entire thing if you're interested in doing that. Here you go. Okay, let me just like leave it like this. I'm not gonna zoom in again. Here I started using a pencil. Also, you can probably hear my dog barking. Sorry about that. She probably just heard something. I started using pencil a lot more, I'm not sure why, but okay, you can definitely hear her barking, but that's because some dogs are outside and she hears them. So I do apologize about that, but I mean, it's just a dog. I hope that's okay. So then again, I didn't want to start a new notebook, which is kind of dumb to be honest, because there's enough pages to kind of fill in at least most of the notebook, but I just added some additional pages. So I'm gonna zoom in so you can see these better. And yep, that's everything. As you can see, I apparently haven't even finished that book, or maybe I did finish it, but I didn't really take any notes because I'm pretty sure I just started, or maybe not, maybe I actually haven't finished this textbook. I thought I did, but oh well. From what I see, I just haven't finished the last lesson in here. So I started the chapter 17 or the lesson 17, and I went through the vocabulary and written down the words that I didn't understand. But I kind of also, I'm just gonna zoom out so you can see the entire page. But yeah, I kind of just stopped right there. I haven't finished these, which I should probably do. And I might do it when I finally find some time to study the Korean again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry this is so long, but that's what you guys requested. So I hope it was a better type of video than the previous one. I'm gonna link it down below if I remember. I always say I will link stuff in the description and I never do because I always forget. But I'm gonna try my best to remember, and I'm also gonna try to remember to link this video under the other one, the old one, so that I can kind of redirect you to this one if you're interested in seeing the slower version of me flipping through these notes. So yeah, hope this was informative, hope you enjoyed that one, and I see you in my next video. Bye.